So I just invite you. Hopefully you get it and you can join. Yeah. Hi, Daniela. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good.
Lovely, lovely to see you. I mean, I get super excited every time we connect, like in a few seconds. This is just like a miracle almost. So people start joining. I don't know if some of your friends are here. Feel free
Yeah,
to say hi.
I can see some of my friends. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, Daniela is a star now, you know, so you do well following her. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm super excited about your interview because I think it's the first time we're gonna meet someone that literally just landed in the US. So probably you have, a lot of fresh, feelings and thoughts that you're gonna be able to
Yeah, for
join with
sure.
the people. Okay, well, people is starting to ask questions like handmade with love. Just so I will answer before I just miss you, just because so many people is joining. So I don't know your name, but handmade with love. You're more than welcome to join us. It doesn't matter that you are from Ecuador or from Brazil or from Chile, like Daniela, or from Madrid, like me, or from Hong Kong. I mean, we are an international community, and that is one of our greatest assets, actually. You know, the diversity that we always include in our program portfolio. And so yeah, sure thing, you could apply, and we will help you. But let me welcome Daniela officially. Thank you so much. I know that you are working from home just because of this. I think that you were
Yeah.
mentioning, is that okay with your boss? I mean, I know your boss and he's
Yeah.
super cool, but
Yeah, he is. No, right now, like, it's just up to us if we want to work from home or to
oh,
work from the
okay.
office. So a lot of people is just mixing some days at home and some days at the office. And I like going to the office because I just got here. So it's nice to
Of
know new
course.
people and like having more interaction with the office. So I do have a lot of fun
Yeah.
going to the
Okay,
office. So
so
I do
we will
enjoy that.
go over all this. Just let me just focus a little bit on what we're going to discuss today, because I normally just start talking, and sometimes I just get into the conversation like if we were in a bar or something, just having, a nice time together. And probably the people with us today want to know what we're going to talk about, just in case they just
Okay.
jump. So we're going to try to cover all those common questions that you normally send our way when you are preparing to, start a new job overseas. It can be in the US, it can be somewhere else, because some of those questions and answers are common. But I mean, obviously, we're going to focus on Daniela's experience coming from Chile and landing in New York, like less than a month ago, I believe, or something like that. So
Yes.
she's gonna be the one telling us all, about her experience. Buena Dani. That's someone from your end, I guess.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Ah, it's your brother. Oh my God, that's so
Yes.
sweet. I
Yeah.
think that my brother would never
Yes.
connect, to support me. So that's really nice of him. But so yeah, tell us just a little bit about your background. Where you started. All this journey to pursue your American dream and be now in the US.
Well, I am from Chile, as you mentioned, and I study my university. It's called Universidad Santiago de Chile. And in Chile, we study for 6 years to become an architect. So after when I graduate, I follow you guys like for 2 years or
Oh
something like
really?
that. I always had,
Oh
yeah,
my
I always
God,
had this
that's
dream
so.
to eventually to go to United States and like develop my career, be out of my comfort zone. But I always approached it like a dream. Meanwhile, I was still in college,
I see.
and because we see it through internet, sometimes you wonder how real it
Oh
is, or
yeah.
how possible it actually is, or how affordable it is in all the different areas, money, to actually go out of your country and just start kind of a new life. So I was like following you guys for a while, just getting the idea in my brain, like my mind, like But
How did you meet us?
I wanted to
How
do
did you
it.
meet us? I'm just because if you were still
Oh,
in college, it was through social
yeah,
media.
no, I just one day I have a brother who actually lives in
Uh,
United States, but he lives in Tennessee,
okay.
like far from where I'm right now. And I always had the idea to come to United States, but I didn't know how to do it. And I knew like doing it with through architecture, that's what I love and I'm passionate about,
Oh my
would be
God. Yeah.
great. So I just started typing in internet like, okay, how to be an architect in United States, and then like your page appeared, and I started reading. I started searching in YouTube. It was like, wow, this looks amazing. It looks
Yeah.
amazing, like. And I think in that time you guys were still not doing lives, but you had a
Yeah.
blog. So I was reading a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
the
the blog has been
stories.
there. I think it was one of the greatest ideas. I mean, this doesn't sound very humble, but I really think it was a great idea. Just because when I first started the program, I didn't know exactly, you know, how far it was gonna go. I just wanted to, I don't know, share my experience and help some other counterparts to have the same opportunity that I had in the past. You know, I was an architect, and all my experience was in architecture. I was so passionate, as you were mentioning, about, you know, architecture and about the type of life we have, and, you know, all those common features that are very particular for architects. And at some point, yeah, I just realized that I had been super lucky, and I just want to start this new community. And that's the reason why we started the blog, because I wanted to create like a forum where people could exchange ideas and experiences and all that, but it was not alive. So that's amazing. That's really rewarding that you were following us. You always think like, is there actually somewhere, you know, in the other side, in the other,
Yeah.
but I guess, yeah. So awesome. So you were already starting to think about, okay, maybe one day I will follow my brother's
Yes.
steps and actually do it through architecture. That's awesome.
Yes.
And so you finished college because you have some experience. I mean,
Yeah, I
reviewing
finished
your.
college and I worked like 2 years in Chile, other offices. And then I was still like deciding because I was a little scared of the idea to just come here by myself. I still have a lot of support and family here, and my brother, and I have a boyfriend too. So it was just hard idea to actually how hard it was going to be here by my own and all that. So it just took me a while to just process the idea, and then one day was like, okay, I'm going to do this.
And just so you know, probably there are some people you know, out there going through the same kind of questioning and you know, concern. So what were the main, I don't know, three you know, questions that really scare you about or concern you about moving to the US?
Well, one of it was the language for sure. Like it's not my first
But you
language.
speak super well.
And oh, thank you.
No, I mean, like, yeah, okay, but I get it. Yeah,
And
professionally, probably, right?
I would say, yeah, it's different to speak English in
Totally.
architecture, like than just talk
Yeah.
about life. But yeah, one part was that, and the other part was like it's just so much unknownness. Like you don't know what you are going to find or be. It's just this idea you don't know what you're going to face, and you just have yourself, and that's it. So you don't know how it's going to be your job or your workspace, or how hard it's going to be. Or so I would say that it was more just about not having something clear what I
So
was going to face.
a clear
And then
image of how it was gonna be like when you put the first foot in you know,
yes.
in US land, kind of. Got it.
And then was to like the friends and the family, and like feeling that 1 year and a half doesn't, at least how much I applied for the visa, doesn't sound that much time, but it still feels like it's not just 1 month of vacation. It's a
Yeah, it's a real chunk of your time. I mean, of your life. And actually, at this age, you know, it can be like a inflection point for sure. I mean, it was for me, and we'll see what life has prepared for you next, right? But I mean, for sure, it's going to have
Yeah.
an impact on your career and on your future plans and everything. We have a friend here asking. Oh, is the same person, handmade? Yeah, asking that he or she would like to know if it was difficult to make all the arrangements to go to the USA for you.
All right. Well, for me, because as I mentioned before, I had a lot of support. Like I'm so grateful for. I have a brother and some family related to him that's really close to me, and I have a boyfriend who lives in Tennessee
Oh,
too. So
really?
they
Oh,
help me
your
a
boyfriend's
lot.
here. Well, here
Yes,
in the US.
yes,
Oh, wow.
it's the U.S. Yeah. So because I was just looking, that was the scary part because you see everything through internet, like the place, where the job is going to be, and it's different than actually being there.
Yeah, totally. It looks
So
like a movie or something, surreal. It doesn't kind of sound like too
yes,
real to be true.
yes. So even like meanwhile I was in Chile, I'm doing all this process. They were like helping me finding places and sending me an option, like look at that, what do you think about this? They were still like in Tennessee. They were in United States, but in Tennessee, that's like 10 hours from here. But it was closer than me being in
Of
Chile
course,
for
of
sure.
course.
And they did understood better how things were here.
And
So
and, and
they helped me a lot
probably,
with a lot of
of
arrangements.
course, and probably that help you as well to overcome all that, the overwhelming moment where you have to face, oh my God, I have to find an apartment.
Yeah.
What if, there are, a lot of scams? How can I pay a
Mm-hmm.
deposit without being there? How did you actually manage that? It was through your family in Tennessee, or you wait until you land in New York to find a
Yeah,
place?
I wait till landing here, but my boyfriend actually came here earlier than me because I was still in Chile. So he was still like looking for different places and sending me options.
Oh,
But because I was not here, I was not really sure. Like, I don't know because it's just
yeah.
different. I just needed to feel it. So then I got here and was keep looking for options, seeing how far was the office. And was like, and then I find a place. I was like, okay, this is it. But as I mentioned, like at least in my case, I
Of
was so lucky
course.
to have so much support like around me, helping me because it is overwhelming because even when I had like help, it was like, I don't know where I'm going
Yeah,
to live.
and we
And that
we
was
always we always
important.
recommend, when some of our participants always ask us, like, should they get an apartment before landing in the US? And we actually don't recommend that. I mean, we understand that when the time gets closer, the moment to pack your bags and leave, you get excited and at the same time super nervous about, as you were saying, that void, that you don't know where you're gonna expect or where you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
find when you land here. But we always recommend that, you relax, you get an Airbnb, something temporary, so
Yeah.
you don't make a decision just based on that nervousness, and you ended up even extending a check, or giving the deposit to something or someone that you
Yeah.
haven't even checked first, right? So that is important. So in the end, you landed in a hotel or a
Yeah.
temporary kind of location?
I was in a hotel for like 3 weeks and a half or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And then you, from there, you start doing sightseeing and
Looking and
house. Okay.
yes.
Okay. How
Yeah.
tough was that for you? What was your experience in that regard? Because that is one of the most stressful things, I think, when you land in another country, to find an apartment. You're always visiting places and you think, will it be this the one?
Yeah.
Uh,
And yeah, that was a little hard because at the same time, if I choose one, I kind of needed to stack for the whole year with it. Like, it's not like, oh, never mind, I just want to try for 1 month and you just
yeah.
change. So actually, before to get here, the first idea was to get an B, I think it's the name, like a place to rent for a month.
Yeah. Airbnb.
But I
Yeah.
had a problem. Yeah, I had a problem with the owner of the place because he had like a wife and he rent the place to me, but then he rent the place to another person. It was
Oh,
like a fully confusing. and there was not a parking spot, and like it was a really like difficult place to be. So to the end of the day, I said like, okay, never mind, I'm not going to be here. And then was when I realized that I just needed to consider so many options around. Then just if the place was nice or not, like the neighborhood, how comfortable I feel. I'm still really interested to go to the office, so how close I am to the place I'm working, and it were so many details about it. So I just kept looking and looking, and as I mentioned before, like
Yeah,
my boyfriend was looking with me, so
that
helped
helped.
to be
And
a little bit
and are
less
you
of
now
them.
close to the office? I mean, did you find a
Yes,
place?
I'm like, yeah, I'm like 10 minutes far from the office.
Okay, cool. And in terms, just to finish with this topic, but I'm just asking, all those
Mhm.
questions that people normally ask, and maybe you did actually when you were, expecting your visa. Does, your salary, is it enough in order to, find an apartment? Do you have your own savings? I mean, how is the life in that regard? I mean, the salary versus the cost of living for you.
Because it's my first month, I would say like I'm still like trying to be really cautious with like, because this first month I had more
Yeah, the arrival.
spendings than what I probably will have the next month, because it's we're just getting
All
furnitures,
that. Yeah.
a way how to move. So I would say like right now I'm no 100% like with the number, but of course I did a budget.
That's great.
And with that,
But you mentioned something that is very important. I
I
mean,
feel like I'm living
kind
like
of organizing your financials before landing is key, right? If you don't want to see yourself in a uncomfortable situation, you should have your schedule or your Excel or whatever, having completely clear what you're gonna have to give before starting in a place, all that money for the furniture, even if the transportation, I don't know, housing, all that, so you know your financials, and you're ready to start in the best possible experience, and enjoy it from the beginning, because it's true that at the beginning that can be also pretty overwhelming. So and in terms of the preparation, tell us a little bit about how was the process for you to get interviews, prepare for those. Just tell us a little bit about that experience, because I'm sure that people are curious to hear about your case. It's amazing, right?
yeah, it's great. Like I was just last month in the other side, but well, I think I was really nervous about the interview because it was through the computer. So I was like, I was just sending mails, like you guys were sending me like options to apply to different places, and it's like I was still not really sure if that was going to work. I was
Yeah, sorry,
like,
just to interrupt you, just so you know, guys, Daniela is part of our Job Plus J1 Visa program. So we actually help her to get the position where she is.
yes.
We help her with the selection processes, interviews, and all that. So that's why she was saying, it's not that we normally send thousands of emails. It was just part of that particular program where we take care of all that job hunting and
Yeah.
send the participants way, potential job openings based on their profile. And then Daniela was happy. I don't remember if you were involved in multiple, you were involved in multiple selection processes, but did you interview with more than one company or
yeah, just one company, and that was Inglese Architecture,
and you
where
got the
I'm at
job?
right
Okay,
now.
I forgot. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. So I got the interview with them, and was like, it just like I remember I got the mail like they want to interview with you. I was like, wait, what? They want to interview with me? I was like so nervous and excited, like, oh, this is happening. Like at least the first step, like something is happening. It's not just
Yeah.
waiting for something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah,
was so
yeah.
nervous, and so I just started like doing the research, studying what is the company, what do they do, what do they like. And I was trying to get connected with, okay, what makes me passionate about what they do? And I start reading, and I really like that actually what they do is they try to make a lot of affordable housing to reach architecture to everyone.
That's awesome.
And I like that concept a lot. And so I started reading that and was like, okay, that's great. I was watching, seeing different projects they have, and just start preparing myself to be able to do a good presentation with them. I remember I was a little bit nervous, and I tend to over prepare, I would say. So because it was through Skype, I just put a lot of notes in case I just forgot something around.
In front of you, like a wallpaper?
Yes, in the computer, yeah. And like the experience that I had in other companies, and like architecture terms that maybe I would forget when I was talking because it was all in English. And then I realized, and I started to, when I was studying about like how to have a good interview, it's a lot more of your attitude, at least in my own experience with that. It's a lot about your attitude, like how happy you are with it, like how actually you want to do it, more than what particularly you say. And I felt like completely that when I was talking with them, because I was super excited talking with them, but I felt like they start getting excited with me
because of your excitement.
Not actually what, it was not because what I did or my experience, or no, it's like I feel like they like my personality or something. I felt like so good with them. They made some jokes, so that made me feel a little more relaxed. And there was 3 people making the interview with me that were the partners of the office. So just the first moment when I saw them, it was like 3 people here at the same time asking me questions.
Who were they? Joaquin, Alex?
So Joaquin, Alex, and
okay, yeah, the three.
Yeah, and they're great. Like I have been, now that I meet them in real life, it's just they're so nice. Like just yesterday, actually, I had I went out.
Joaquin told me. We exchanged an email just because I was saying hi, that I just finished my maternity leave, and so I emailed him just saying, hey, I'm back, in case you need anything. How's it going with Daniela? I cannot share what he said, but all good remarks. He's very happy with your contribution to the company. But I mean, he was saying that you were both together in the car going to a site, right?
Oh yes. Okay, it was in the same moment. Yeah, yesterday we had that, and we just have a talk, and it was really nice.
He's super nice. I promised him that I'm going to come to visit you guys next time I'm allowed to travel to New York. Yeah, hopefully after the summer. I mean, you will see if eventually at some point you leave the New York and the US, how addictive it is. I mean, it's been already almost 2 years since last time I went, and yeah, I miss it so much. So next time I come to visit, I hopefully, we can meet in person and we grab a cup of coffee or something. But going back to what you were saying in terms of the interview, I think that you touched really, really important points. Like the first one is that you said that you actually did some research. You prepared for the interview. This sounds like too obvious, but you will be surprised how many people actually don't do that research before meeting with someone. They think that is a matter of just throwing all their achievements and studies and courses and all that. And as you said, tied into the next important point that you mentioned, it's not that they don't care about your background and about your achievements. Obviously they do, but that's something that they already know because they invited you to interview with them, right? So as you mentioned, they really want to know who is behind the professional. They want to know what type of role you're going to play within their team. What is your attitude? What type of personality you have? Are you going to be someone vocal in the team, or you're going to be someone more working independently? What is your attitude in general? What is your energy? That's super important. And I actually just recorded a video talking about how to craft a perfect pitch. And those are actually two of the points that we mentioned. Do some research so you can actually highlight the value that you're gonna bring to the table. And one way of doing that is tying your past achievements or knowledge or skills to what you have kind of come up with after doing that research. What type of architecture they do, what is their mission, do they care about being impactful, as you were saying? Perhaps you've done, I don't know, a project at school where the critical thinking was around how the society is going to adapt to a particular structure. I don't know. So you can easily kind of tailor your pitch and your presentation around who they are as professionals as well. So that's really clever, and I'm sure that was also a great one of the reasons why they fell in love with you. So yeah, great comments. And so how did the interview go? I guess from what you're saying, it was really relaxed. I mean, what was the kind of the timeline?
Well, I'd start really like nervous, and then they just start making some jokes to me, and like that made me to relax a little more and just like keep talking about it. And they just asked me for my experience. They asked me for how much I was expecting to gain with them. And I was not expecting that question in the moment, to be honest. And it was like, because it is like a program, so I thought it was going to be more structured in that way. So it's I just want them to like me. So in that moment I say like, I'm not sure about that right now. I need to make some research. And
good
they were
answer.
like, yeah, so they were just kind of teasing like, just shoot it, like it's fine, just tell us. It's like, I don't really know right now because I need to to study like that. It's just a different country too, so the numbers that make sense for me in Chile does not really make sense here. So I just took our time a little bit with that, and then I went in another interview.
Yeah, sorry.
To talk with them.
Oh, so you did too. I forgot about the second one. Okay.
Yeah, I had two conversations with them because then they offered me like a letter with how much they were like offering me to gain. And I was a little bit worried in the moment, like if that amount of money was going to be enough for me to come here to United States. So then we chat a little bit, and then then for a moment
I remember now the conversation.
Yeah, and for a moment I felt like I just didn't express myself as good when we had the second conversation, because I wanted to see like the possibility to have a negotiation with them. And then I felt like for a moment they felt like I was asking too much money or something like that. So then I was like, oh, I got nervous again.
That was cool when you explained this, but just let me share some ideas about this. I'm actually putting together like a webinar about how to negotiate your salary, because
it's hard.
Super hard. I mean, we're architects, we know all about space, materials, light, structures and design, and so on. But we haven't been trained for some so common situations in the profession of an architect that we get all of a sudden like just froze, and we don't know how to react. And one of the common questions, especially in the US, is okay, but in a very, maybe you're talking about your childhood and something very casual, and all of a sudden they just, okay, so what are your salary expectations? And you are like, oh my god, we were just talking about something random, and they want me to answer this that probably is gonna decide whether I get or not the job, right? So that is an important question to be ready to answer. And probably the best way to answer it is, unless they are super aggressive and they ask you several times and you just have to provide some sort of answer, the best or the most intelligent way probably is try to put the ball back in their court just by openly, which is actually true, just saying like, I'm completely new, to the American market. I've done some research, but there is so different numbers out there, which is true. I mean, everyone goes to Glassdoor, and every single person that comes to us saying that has checked, Glassdoor salaries for someone at their level, the salary is way too high to what in reality is, because I don't really know how their algorithm works or how they actually gather all that information, but it doesn't really meet reality, and it seems to be a little bit off above. So if you really know your salary expectations, you say it openly, so no one actually wastes time. That's one way. But if you don't really know and you just want to have something fair, you can just say that openly, like, I'm new in the market. I mean, I would think that, I should be, because of my background and experience, should be, making this range, in this range, but I'm open to, listen what you have to offer, as long as it's commensurated with, my experience and what the market is offering someone at this level. And then, they might say, okay, fair enough. And they probably will be the ones extending you the offer or offering you something specific. But if you go too high, or too low as well, you're risking, a better option.
Opportunity. Yeah, but to the end of the day, we're good. Like, they still offer me a little bit more. I was really happy with it, and that they consider it. They still want me. I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So for a moment, that's why I mentioned it too, because I remember being the other side, and like I was having the interview, I was researching in internet, trying to see what you guys have in the blog, like what do I need to expect from this interview? What I need to say. So,
and it's so difficult when you guys ask us about that. There are always like two golden questions. How long does it take to get an offer? Or an interview? Who can answer that, right? Even if you're applying yourself, you don't know how long it's going to take you to match, or align with a specific need, right, out there. And the other question is, how much money should I ask? And we have cases that within the same city, like New York City, someone with the same experience, I mean, two different profiles with the same experience, making $20,000 to $25,000 difference, just because of the type of office it is. So it's so difficult for us to answer that questions and to help you in that regard. So the better you can do is just to do some research and be super honest and humble about it. Key. Yeah, and so they extend you the offer. And how long were you actually in the pool? I mean, was it difficult for you to get the offer? How long did it take?
No, it was not that hard. The thing is, like, just when I decided to apply, COVID happened, and then it was shut down. In the point of that was not letting people to get inside of the United States with the J1 visa. So then when it reopened, it happened like, I don't know, 1-2 months, and I got the opportunity. And everything for a moment, it felt like it happened so fast. Like, I understood that I needed to wait because it was COVID and all this problem. And then like COVID happened, passed a little bit, and it was just like, oh my goodness, I have a flight. And then I had a problem that my country shut down. I was not letting me to get out.
You were so,
I was like,
well, you were lucky.
I feel all the time like,
lucky. We have a couple of participants that recently got stuck in the home country with the visa approved already from the State Department. But the U.S. embassies, I think that they have such a backlog from, due to COVID that, there are delays in that. But tell us your experience, because that was stressful too, right?
Yeah, that was really stressful. I just felt all the time like, yes, let's go. Oh no, never mind, I cannot go because something happened. Like all the time I was like, and that made me a little bit tired. It's like, my goodness, what's going on? But so yeah, I had everything. I got the visa, and then I thought maybe when I needed to go to the consul to have the interview, I thought they were going to deny it because of COVID or something. But no, everything went good.
We haven't got any denials since COVID. It's just the issues that we've got at the beginning is just that the visas were kind of freezed, and after, when they lifted the Trump's proclamation of the banning visas, it was the travel ban, and the delays, but visas haven't been denied. So
I was really happy about that. So then later I just needed to ask for a special permission to my country, explaining that actually I'm not going on vacation. It's not like I'm going and coming back. That's what the country was more worried about. They are trying to stop the tourism, so people doesn't come and get in. It's not much movement. But because I was going to be 1.5 years out, I just asked kind of for special permission, and they just allowed me to do it, and I was able to travel. I was no one in there.
Oh, really? It was like a private plane for you at Jet or something? That's awesome.
Yeah.
And how was it to actually, travel like a long haul flight just by yourself and landing in New York? I mean, was it, I don't know, well, probably if you didn't do it before COVID, you don't have anything to compare with, but I'm sure that you have traveled before COVID. So was it a bit more, I don't know, scary just because of landing in a kind of empty airport? Or how was it? How was your experience when you landed? You know, when you got your suitcase at the check-in, on the luggage, sorry.
Yeah, I guess I just felt like super emotionally from the point I just arrived, and I feel like, okay, this is a new chapter of my life kind of thing. This felt like kind of epic and like some nostalgic at the same time. It's like, okay, I need to make this experience as the best as I can.
Of course.
Kind of feeling. And I don't know, I have been trying before a lot of times you need to stay as a vacation, but now it feels so different because it's not more the vacation move, like let's just have fun, like in the way of adventures. It was an adventure in the idea of developing myself as in the way in the area of architecture and like goals and challenge and all that. So because I'm not from here, sometimes it just gets a little overwhelmed that everything is so different, it's so new, the language.
Did you get a cab, or did you go to your Airbnb by ground transportation? Was someone waiting for you? Because so many people ask, like, what should I do when I land in the airport? And you know, I don't know. It seems like a big moment that you will always remember.
Yeah, it's true. Well, as I mentioned, in my case, it's just like I just have so much support in this case, I guess. My boyfriend was here waiting for me with a car, so he helped me to move around a lot.
I see. I'm going to jump on the question from Kartika because I think it's actually good, and we already passed the interview moment. So from your experience interviewing with local Chilean architecture firms, as opposed to being involved in processes with American firms, did you actually have to kind of reformat your portfolio resume, or approach it with a different angle, or for you was same thing?
I would say it was almost the same. I did try though, like just to put the best that I had in my portfolio, and just something that identified me. Like I like a lot the creative part and the things that I like to do, that most of it, design and that. And just translate it.
Into English. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I don't remember if we actually made specific comments to your portfolio, but normally what we do before accepting someone into the pool, if there's nothing to be amended or picked up, we don't make any comments. But if there are some recommendations that might make the portfolio look a little bit more stronger, we will always do so, and so you can have the time to make it look a little bit better and get ready for the processes. But I think that yours was pretty strong, and we use it as it was. And normally, as you were mentioning, it's true that they during the interview might pay attention to a specific project that they it caught their attention, but they want to see how you actually articulate, your ideas around your portfolio, or around, a personal story, right?
Yeah. Well, what it was a little impressive for me is just like, I guess, because I have been always seeing my projects. For me, sometimes they are not like really sometimes I feel like I even need to improve my portfolio. But it was really nice for me when I had the interview with the firm. They said that they like my portfolio. We can say like, you have really nice graphics and like designs, and he kind of mentioned a little bit of that. I was like, oh great, okay, I think I did a good job with that portfolio then.
Yeah.
And just sometimes having a feedback from outside, because sometimes we are just so used to what we see ourselves
Of
just
course.
limitate a little bit the vision. But
yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to be ready for the two type of interviews. You know, you can face an interview where they're gonna deep down in your project and ask you specific questions about what sort of I don't know, material did you use in this detail, or
Yeah.
you just want to know, you know, as we said before, what are your passions and how you transition those passions into your career, right? What really drives you and makes you wake up every morning full of energy in terms of, you know, practicing architecture and all that. So you have to be yourself. I mean, we're not saying that you have to go into an interview like, yes, you know, super energetic. You have to be whoever you are, right? Obviously, having, you know, some attitude will always help, you know, to show that you are a passionate person, whatever level, you know, of personality you have. But that's important. And she's also this is a guy, I think, Giovanna, or a girl, I'm sorry, is asking if it was difficult for you to, I guess, adjust in terms of the differences between the building system in Chile as opposed to the systems in the US. I don't know if you have faced already that. I mean, you're so new.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm in the process right now, I would say.
You're still dealing with the Imperial system, right? You're still under the Imperial system cloud, kind of.
In Chile, we use centimeters and meters, and like I would say that is like the more challenging right now, like because I just started, but it's just doesn't really make sense to me yet, the system of the inches and feet. So what I did just recently, and maybe it's a little bit silly, I just bought measure type. I'm just trying to measure everything around to get, how do you say that, like in my brain, okay, I understand measurements around, because I feel like I do that in centimeters and meters when I see in a space, okay, this has 3 meters, 4 meters.
That's actually a great way.
You to understand the space better, because you know how much is your hand, or how tall you are, so you compare spaces with things that you understand. So I'm trying to do that now with myself, but in inches and feet, and maybe I consider it's a little bit silly, but
no,
it's because we work with these programs, like I'm using Revit right now, and then you are just making a measure that's really small, and it showed me like a huge fraction that's like makes me in the moment think like, what in the world is this number? Because I'm so used to like centimeters and millimeters, but it's just part of the process and adjusting.
Of course. But I think that the system that you just suggest is great. I mean, I was the other way of doing this, and it was my personal experience. I was so lucky that my first job in New York was with James Carpenter Design. They have like a small boutique studio around all sort of glass kind of detailing proposals, and they are very, very, very fine, and you know, really popular in that type of architecture. And so we were doing mock-ups and you know, models, physical models, as part of the design process on daily basis. So I was doing a lot of, you know, models, and I had to go to the shop to buy all the materials, and I was like, oh my god, 3.5 inches, 1/16 of all that. I don't even remember anymore. But I mean, that helped me a lot, because as what you were saying, you were kind of inheriting, you know, that new way of measuring things. So you have to train your brain. It's like a new language, basically. So once you land in you know, this is in New Jersey, right? You're based in New Jersey. I keep saying, well, New Jersey is pretty close. But
it's 20 minutes.
What would be you know, I guess one of the common questions that we normally do, but in your case is even more pertinent because you just arrived. Is there anything that you say to yourself every day, or at least once, oh my God, I wish someone would have told me about this, or I wish someone would have, warned me about this particular methodology, or I don't know, something about your new life in New York?
Well, I think because I just started, there's a lot of new things that I'm sure will continue like showing up,
Happening.
on like new challenge happening, new challenges. I would say like right now, what I've just always had in mind, like I do feel like I can speak English like fluently and good, but there is so many things about the architecture that I would have liked to study better in the past when I was in Chile, just waiting for this experience. Because
You mean like technical vocabulary,
well,
or okay?
yes, more like technical vocabulary, or like, because I'm sure with the time I will get better about that. And right now it's not like a problem, like a huge problem, but I would like just to feel more comfortable with myself, to be able to communicate better in the architecture field, because it's actually what I'm doing. But because I'm working more with the program than actually right now, like communicating with people, it's okay. But I would like that. Like sometimes even like in lunchtime, we are just talking with the whole group of the office, and they're just talking about the project and different parts. I'm all the time like asking like, what does it mean? Because it's so like particular part of the projects that it's struggling with, and it's
Yeah.
just architecture terms. It's not like,
Yeah,
hello,
of
how are
course,
you
of course.
doing in the language. So I would say like right now like more about that. But at the same time, when I was posting in the blog that you guys have, I was thinking in the Daniela who was in Chile, so scared about this experience, and like I would tell the Dani of the past, like, do not worry, like this is good. Like if you have a good attitude, and I don't know, maybe it's lack, or I don't know what's it, but I just feel like these first months have been amazing, and I wonder like why didn't I do it like even before?
Before. Yeah, yeah.
And it's great. Like I would just tell everyone that just do it, don't overthink it, and have
Yeah,
fun.
I think that one of the reasons why people normally get stuck and don't make the decision is just what you were mentioning before. Is it going to be real? I mean, it sounds too far away that you don't even believe in it, that it can happen. And eventually, if you make the move, you just realize that, oh my God, I'm actually here. I'm in the Brooklyn Bridge. I'm going to
Yeah.
work. I'm in the subway, I'm going to meet my boss, and afterwards I have a lunch and learn. I mean, all those things that you might have, read about, or listen from colleagues, and what we always share with you guys, it actually becomes true. So, but going back to the vocabulary, because I know this is something that actually people also ask a lot. Just if it works for you guys, and if it works for you, Daniela, I remember when I was in your position, but not in New York, it was in London. I first worked in London.
Mm.
And for me, it was really, everything was overwhelming. I was 20 something, I don't remember, I was pretty young. And, I was not feeling, as you were saying, comfortable with my level of English. I had actually my French all over my head, because I had studied architecture in Paris for the last year. So I was fluent in French, but all of a sudden my English was like, I don't know, I was feeling very insecure. And so what I decided was like, okay, this might sound a little bit nerdy, but it helped me so much. I bought like one of those Moleskine, or a small notebook, and I had like from the front, at the front, I was just noting vocabulary, like new words, like
Yeah.
what you were saying. Like if I'm in the subway and all of a sudden I see an ad and I don't understand a word, I was looking for it. At that time, I was with my pocket dictionary. I mean, that is gonna look very weird today, so don't do that. But I mean, with your app, with your dictionary app, you can just quickly look
Yeah.
up for that word, and just by the fact of putting it down, you, out of 5 words, you keep 3. So,
Yeah.
it's a high percentage, and you're learning vocabulary on daily basis, every day. And then at the back, I was just putting down phrases like proverbs. I was always like, I don't know, they made me I found them funny, you know, like being in a spot of bother. Well, that was very British, but I mean, and then all of a sudden I was using that, or like stop taking the Mickey. I still remember the British proverbs at that time, but you have many, obviously, in American too, and that will help you a lot. So you're making the most out of your experience, not only professionally, but, you know, learning and improving your English skills. So yeah, that's my recommendation. But yeah, and so what else I'm thinking that I don't want to miss that people normally ask? Oh yeah, I how was your experience with the social security number? Because that's also something that people get scared about. Like, how am I gonna get paid? I mean, is it gonna be legal? It's like, of course. How are you supposed to be thinking that we're gonna send you to work illegally? Of course, you're gonna have a social security number. You're gonna open a bank account. Everything is gonna be perfectly, you know, regulated. So tell us.
Yeah, well, because it's still, the situation with COVID was really better when I arrived here, thank God about that. But all the like official buildings from the government were still not working as normal. So I needed to schedule an appointment with them. And they took a little bit of time to give me like the time, but so I was a little bit worried about that because I was thinking like, wow, they are going to take a while to give me my social security number and how I'm going to get paid. And so Joaquin and the people who works there like explained it to me, and that was not a problem. No. I just needed to wait for that, and was so if someone is worried about it because it takes time, now even if it takes time, you still like can get paid, and you build your number and like
your employer can pay you perfectly, you know, well. I mean, they're within the legal frame, and same you will. I mean, the only thing is that you have to wait for the social security number to come for other stuff.
Yeah. So when they called me for the appointment, it was really simple, being honest. I thought it was going to be more complicated. I just filled the form, put my name, my family name, and like not really hard questions, and just passed it to the guy. And he asked me if I had before social security number. I was like, no. And that was it. He's like, okay, you will have it in 2 weeks or something like that.
I mean, you have to also take the letter from your sponsor. I mean, the letter that we hand you. But I don't believe that they ask you already for a bank account, right? It's not mandatory to have the bank account. So it's just like
no,
I don't know how you envision this, but I think it's just a matter of putting a list all those things that you're gonna have to check, and in a matter of a week or two you are all set, and you know everything. All of a sudden you have a new life, and you know you're living right. It's literally like that. You have your apartment, you have your stuff, your furniture, your new co-workers, probably new friends. You have a social security, the bank account. You feel like, oh my God, am I a New Yorker? Am I American now? You know? Right?
It's true.
It sounds like, this cannot be real, but it really is. I mean, it's not that. I mean, the system is well prepared for hosting international. So you'll be good. Daniela, I don't know if you would like to share something else from your end, just randomly.
No, I would just like keep mentioning that, just motivating people on the other side, because I remember being there. So just like, this is real, it's happening, and it's an amazing experience. Like I have still a lot to like for the future. I just start 1 month here, but I'm so happy with the experience. So this is great. So if everyone is interested in doing this, I really recommend it. Like, and I recommend Architect US to go through the process. So
thank you so much. Yeah, probably we should interview again, you know, like in your last month, just to see, you know, how's been your you know, development and your experience. But I mean, I'm sure that you're gonna have a really great one. You I think that you landed in a good moment. I was just speaking before talking with you, speaking with you to an HR manager also based in New York, and she was saying that the city is going back to, you know, the place where it's been always like a very vibrant city where everyone is, you know, experiencing all that New York can offer. And I'm sure that you're gonna have, yeah, an incredible experience. Try to make the most out of your work, you know, learn from all your colleagues. Don't be shy to ask for more responsibilities if you think that you can take them. Sign up for all the workshops, you know, lunch and learns, any trainings, you know, that's something that will go with you forever. So
Yeah.
I wish I could, we could follow you. I mean, we will on social media and on your blog post. So stay tuned for her experiences. And Daniela, thank you so much. It's been great. I think that you have touched really, really great points.
Thank you. It's been really nice to be in the interview too. So thank
Yeah,
you guys.
finally we've put a face.
Yes.
Just tell us, just so we have, just last question. What are you working on right now? What type of project are you working on?
Oh, yes. Right now I'm working in a multifamily apartment building.
Awesome.
And it has the same idea of being affordable for
Social
affordable housing.
housing,
So
right? Social housing.
yes,
Is it based in New Jersey, or what is it located?
it is. Yes, it's in New Jersey, West Orange.
West Orange. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I don't know that area, but I think that one of our participants before you, because Inglese has hosted already, I don't know,
Yeah, Joaquin was telling me like 7
5 or
people or
7.
something
Yeah,
like
like,
that, and all of them have been amazing. He was just telling me all
yeah,
that
he was
yesterday.
saying that in the email yesterday, like, and I was like, oh my
Uh-huh.
God, this is amazing. Like, he was like, we're so lucky to have you guys. And I was like, oh my God, is he talking about us? You know, being very grateful. And I was like, no, the grateful, we are grateful, you know, to have you on board and part of the family. But you're going to have a great experience also because of that. They are such a great people, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
very,
great.
Joaquin is very mentor, is a mentor. So you can learn a lot from him. And yeah, I'm getting very jealous, you know, so.
Yeah, he was talking about you guys yesterday, like about how he was just telling me that he think you guys make a really good work, putting people, sending people that the office, the kind of, how do you say, like the kind of personality that the office needs or looks for.
Well,
So
yeah,
that he
that
was
is
happy about
our,
that, like.
yeah, that is our main goal. Try to, you know, do a good screening. So we not only,
Yeah.
you know, send them resumes out of, you know, out of the blue. No, the people that we send their way are, you know, candidates that we believe are going to align with their cultural kind of approach and the type of architecture they do, and all that. So happy to hear that it's been another successful match with you, and I really wish you a great experience. Please keep us posted and stay in touch.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Okay, guys. Well, thank you all for joining us today again. It's been lovely. If you have any questions, please send us to us, and we'll, you know, help you cover them. And see you in 2 weeks. Have a great one, Daniela. Just wait, and I talk to you a little bit in the other call.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, guys. See you
Bye.
soon. Bye, bye, bye. Daniela, qué bien. Ay, no sé si me oyes. ¿Me oyes? No. ¿Hola? ¿Me oyes? ¿Me oyes, Daniela? Ahora, no. No sé si me oyes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Sí, ahora te oigo.
Ah, te escucho.
¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué tal te ha parecido? Espera, voy a guardar esto que me da algo como no se grabe, no se guarde. ¿Has estado a gusto?
Sí, muy contenta. Estaba un poco nerviosa al principio, pero bien.
Sí, que va, me encantó porque ha sido como súper, es que a mí me gusta que sean así, como conversaciones entre dos compañeras, ¿no? De profesión, que
Ajá,
intercambian, siempre se nos olvidan cosas que podíamos
claro.
tratar y demás, pero bueno, tampoco te quiero quitar más tiempo que si tienes que trabajar, pero yo lo
Ajá.
hice súper bien.
No, la pasé muy bien. Muchas gracias por la invitación a la
No,
entrevista.
gracias a ti, que sé que intentamos coordinar hace un mes o algo
Sí,
así, ¿no? Para
antes.
despegar, y fue un lío, pero mira, lo hemos coordinado hoy y yo creo que salió fenomenal, así que nada, muchísimas gracias. Cualquier cosa que vayas necesitando, ya sabes que estamos aquí a lo largo de todo el programa. Y como te he dicho, la próxima vez que vaya para Nueva York espero poderme pasar a saludarlos porque no conozco a Joaquín todavía en persona ni al resto del equipo y ya son como familia, ¿sabes?
Sí, no, ellos son increíbles, de verdad. Estoy muy encantada son como muy familia. Me he sentido muy bienvenida por toda la oficina, así que
Qué
son
bien. Pero ya les has
encantadores.
conocido en persona. Bueno, sé que a Joaquín sí, pero ¿habéis ya hecho algún tipo de reunión juntos o todavía no?
Como reunión como personal,
Claro,
como...
sí, ¿has conocido a toda la oficina o todavía no?
Ah, sí, es que lo que pasa es que hace 2 semanas, me olvidó mencionar eso, comenzaron los Summer Friday, que
Ah,
salimos como mediodía, hicieron como una fiesta, invitaron a toda la oficina para que todos nos conociéramos.
qué
Entonces
bien,
los conocí como en esta fiesta que hicieron. Pero
qué
claro,
bien.
la gente al trabajo usualmente no, hay mucha gente que no viene un 30% de
Claro,
la...
claro, 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 claro. Pues qué
Pero
bien,
sí,
Ana,
ya como que de vista ya los conozco a todos, compartimos, comimos, entonces fue bien entretenido, pero...
qué guay, qué guay. Pues nada, disfruta también de esas quedadas porque al final, bueno, estás construyendo también una nueva relación, networks, ¿sabes? Y todas estas cosas
Ujú.
que en el futuro seguro que te vienen bien. Y, Jolín, me ha dicho Joaquín que estáis también súper a tope, o sea que si en algún momento ves que necesitan a más gente, tú nos lo chivas, ¿vale? Aunque
Okay.
Joaquín siempre nos escribe, pero bueno, él también está a mil cosas, o sea
Claro, sí.
que bueno, pues estamos en contacto. Además, ahora mismo, que yo sepa, también está Paula, que es una antigua participante también.
Sí, sí, a ella la conocí.
Lo
De
que pasa
hecho,
es que
está al lado de mi escritorio.
ah, sí, qué bueno.
Trabajamos en el mismo sector.
Pues a Paula, pero Paula la colocamos en Handle Architects y luego de allí, bueno, pues se ha movido, se volvió a Europa, luego volvió y tal, y ahora está con vosotros y me alegro mucho, la verdad, porque es muy buena también. O sea que nada, pues que estamos en contacto, te lo agradezco mucho, Daniela,
Ok.
y cualquier cosa que necesites, por aquí estamos.
Muchas gracias, que esté muy bien.
Gracias,
Cariños.
igualmente, un abrazo, chao, chao.
Chao.
Chao.